If you've heard the pointer, the teaching, effortless effort, or allow everything to be as it is, or go from doing to being, and you're confused about this spiritual teaching, it is confusing. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. This video is for you. And then I will guide a meditation to help support this pointer. Now, this is a confusing teaching because it is really only applicable, this pointing, when we're talking about accessing our true nature. So when we're meditating or throughout the day, if we're trying to do that. So when we're trying to access our true nature, then this is a helpful pointer, this trying to not effort our way there. And I will go into that more of what that pointer means. But where some people get confused, and this is the reason why I don't talk about this teaching very often, is because they apply that to all spiritual practice, or they think, so am I not supposed to be putting in any effort into spiritual practice or not trying? And that is to misunderstand the teaching. So the teaching is only relevant and talking about your meditation practice when you're accessing your being, accessing awareness, emptiness, your true self, whatever you would like to call that. When you're doing that, then that pointer is relevant and helpful. But otherwise, there's many times during the day when we're doing other spiritual practices, such as breaking a belief or doing contemplation work on why did I get triggered just then, or remembering something that happened in childhood and trying to unpack a pattern. And we could certainly label that as efforting or doing. We could. And so it's easy to see how we could confuse that with, am I supposed to be doing those practices then? I thought I was supposed to be not putting not using effort, not engaging that energy, which is egoic energy, the efforting, the doing. And the answer is there's a time and a place for it. So when we're doing a practice where we're examining the content of the mind or an emotional response or trigger, we can certainly label that as efforting or doing, and that's totally fine. And we will need to do that during the awakening process. There is an unfolding that needs to happen that will require effort. But this pointer of the non-efforting and allowing everything to be as it is really is pointing towards our meditation practice, and it's saying how to access our being, how to do it. This is a pointer to start to access it. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I find with people that book in to see me, that's the biggest misunderstanding of this teaching. So now to clarify the teaching, the non-effort that we're doing when we're trying to access our being. So when we're doing a meditation practice, we're trying to access our true selves. We can't do that in the way that we do other things in life, through the mind trying to figure out a problem, through its searching for it. The other ways that we do things, that we've been conditioned to do things in life, won't work for accessing our being. And we find that out pretty early in the process and get quite frustrated with it. And this is where this pointer helps. We have to find a different way to do it. Again, with the terminology, we have to find a different way to do it, to be it, because the way that we're conditioned to find things, to do things, to understand things even, isn't going to work for accessing our being. Now, our being is already there. It's just covered over by the content that is arising. And the content can just include anything. So a thought, an emotion, a sensation, we could just include outside things that we're hearing and experiencing and feeling. But all of that we could just say is just content. It's an expression of what is. But what we're trying to do when we're meditating is we're not so interested in any of that. Again, there is a time and a place for that when we're doing a practice where we're contemplating something, examining something, pulling a belief or thought process apart, then there is a time to go into it. But if we're just talking about meditation, true meditation for the purposes of awakening, for progressing with awakening, then we're talking about accessing our being and then deepening into it. If there was a goal, that would be it. And to do that, we have to do things differently to how we contemplate and examine in other spiritual practices. So it's more of a surrendering that happens. It is more of a relaxing and an opening. And these are very good words and good pointers again. So no one can really guide you exactly on how to do it. It is intuitive and energetic on how to find your being. And it does require some trust that something in you remembers how to do it. But all teachers can do is point towards it, point you in the general direction. And then within yourself, it's up to you to find your way to that, to remember how to do that, to find that within yourself through practicing and through trial and error and trusting. But the key words, these key pointers, are more along the lines of open energetically. So notice the difference. So when we're searching for something, if we're trying to search for what we are, who am I? Who is it that I am? I'm looking for awareness. Let me find it. We're in an egoic energy when we're searching like that. It's a contracted energy. The energy of it is like this, and we're looking and we're fixated, trying to find. Now, what we're hoping for to access our true nature is an open energy. So we see this isn't going to help. This searching that gets us to fixate, that's not going to help, which is why this pointer of it needs to be effortless. We don't want this effort of searching. We're not going to be able to find it in that way. And so all of the things that make up ego, which I've got another video about and I'll link to in the description, such as trying to control or manage or direct our experience, trying to hold on or push away and resist our experience. And all of this is this grasping on and pushing away, and this energy. So ego is this energy of doing that happens, that is happening just automatically within us before we wake up. That, of course, is going to be the operating system when we start to meditate. So we sit still, and the egoic tendencies are still going to be there. Of course they are. And that's what it is that we're going to start to work with and sit with. And so the way that we do that, if we try to apply effort to that, it's only going to make it worse. It's activating ego even more. We're trying to control what it is we're doing. We're searching for it. We're having too much control over the activity. It's activating the seeker energy. It's activating doer energy. And so you can see, well, although it has wonderful intentions of trying to find who I truly am within myself, trying to access awareness, it's a beautiful intention. But you can see that the way that we go about it, most of us, as we're starting out with meditation, is to activate that seeker energy and clamp down and look, because that's how we've been taught how to find something. But that is not going to work for us when we're doing a meditation practice. If we're actually trying to find out our true selves, we have to go about it differently. We can't let the mind run the process. We can't try to problem solve it. And we're just going to end up going in loops in the mind of slightly different from person to person, but it could be, okay, I know I need to relax, so how is it that I relax? So we're still in problem solving mode here. We are clamped down on, okay, so, well, how do I do that? So what do I do? What do I focus on? We're still in that loop around and around. So even though it's good intentions and it's sort of trying to get on the right track, we're still in the same energy. So if we think about it energetically, we can, it can really help. So try to feel it more. So this thought process spinning around and around. Okay, I know I need to hope to open. How do I do that? How do I relax? How do I find awareness? Okay, now I'm still thinking. All right, well, now I'm thinking about thinking. See how we get stuck in the loops? So one thing we can do that certainly helps is to just drop awareness down into the body. So if you notice you're in a mind loop like that, trying to figure out how to access your true nature, instead just try to just let it all go and just feel into a body part. It could be feeling the weight of sitting, and just feel it. There it is. And we're anchored into the body. And all of a sudden we're dropped out of all that commotion of the mind, trying to figure it all out. We just let it all go. Can't be solved. It's not a problem. It's not a riddle to be solved. And we drop down into the body. So it could be just noticing the breath. What does it feel like? And we just feel it. We feel it. We don't try to understand anything. We're trying to figure anything out. We're just, we're feeling. Here we are. What do the feet feel like? Feeling. So already we're going about it in a different way. And this is how we meditate. We have to do it differently to how we search for other things. And so what dropping down into the body is one great tip. Anchoring into the breath, the felt sense of the breath will certainly help. And then words such as relaxing and opening and surrendering, if any of those feel right for you, they can certainly be a good pointer. But think about it energetically instead of thinking, because we're trying not to activate the mind too much and going back into that contraction of ego and problem solving, and I'm going to figure it all out. We're trying to let go of that. We're trying to go beyond that patterning. And so we can just relax the body. Just relax. Take a deep breath in. And when you breathe out, just relax. Here I am in the body. Is the sense of it. We're just feeling. Right here, just breathing. Okay, nothing to do here. Just breathing. Not a big deal. That's it. Let's not overcomplicate it. We're just breathing here, feeling the breath, relaxing. So energetically and the body, relax, relax. We're relaxing it. And the energy is opening, and it's the sense almost of sitting back. In Zen, they call it taking the backward step. And so it can very much feel like sitting back in a lovely lounge chair, relaxing back into yourself. So as you can see, it's very feeling, it's very energetic, and it's intuitive. The mind is not really a part of this. But again, we're not wanting to resist mind. And so this is where allowing everything to be as it is, as a pointer, can be helpful, but can also be a confusing pointer. So, because what does it mean, and how do I do that exactly? It is confusing. So I will guide how to do that in the meditation that's coming up. But the sense of it is, whatever it is that arises, we're not trying to push against and resist it. We're not saying that thought shouldn't be there. I'm meditating. Why is my mind so busy? That's resistance. Okay, we're in ego again. Resistance is ego. All right. Or we're not trying to hold on to something that we have. We're not trying to seek a spiritual experience that maybe we had last time and have these expectations of that. There's all kinds of different things that can be happening. Instead, we're allowing what is arising to just be okay, that's what it is, instead of expecting anything different than trying to change what it is that we're experiencing, and allowing beginner's mind. This is what is happening this time that I'm meditating. And so what does that mean practically? It means there's a sensation in here. There's pain here. The back is hurting today. So to allow it to be as it is, We're not trying to get rid of that. We're not saying that shouldn't be there, or I shouldn't be feeling so much pain. There's no it should or shouldn't be. It's just what is. And what is means acceptance. Accepting that's what is in this moment. Doesn't matter what happened in the past. We try to let go of any expectations of how it could be or what we think it should be like. And instead, we very much just, this is what is happening. This is how the body feels right now. There's pain. There's emotions. It could be very challenging emotions going on. And so it's an acceptance of that. If we start pushing away, we're going in that other direction again. And so it's learning energetically, really, how to manage the content that's arising. And we get the hang of this, and it gets easier and less abstract the more we meditate, and we can quickly get past this initial stage that arises when we first sit down, where there might be a lot of loud content. And so to manage it, manage is a bad word because we're not trying to manage it. That would be ego. To allow it, we can do a body scan. This is what is. This is how the body is right now. We can do an emotional scan. This is what is. These are the emotions that are happening right now. It doesn't need to be any different. I don't need to process them right now. I don't need to feel any different to how I'm feeling, because this is what is in this moment. The mind could be busy. It could be quiet. It doesn't matter. It's saying this is what is happening right now in this moment. It doesn't need to be any different. So it's energetically coming to an acceptance of, okay, the mind is busy. There's emotions here that are really hard. The body hurts perhaps. And it's like, that's what is. That's what is happening in the present moment. That's it. It's not about whether you like it or not. It's just about that it's very practical. That's what's happening right now in this moment, and it will change from moment to moment. Nothing ever stays the same, impermanence. And so it's about energetically not trying to change that in any way. So we're riding the middle way. And the middle way is, on one side we're pushing, we push away and we're in ego, that's resistance. And on the other side we cling and we want more of, and that's also ego. And we're walking the tightrope right down the middle of the middle way. And it's energetically not grasping and not pushing away with the content that arises. So it's like, again, I can try to express this and point to it, but you have to find it within yourself to really understand it. So it's not just an abstract concept. You've got to try it out. And when you do that, it's really energetic is the key word. So can I feel the difference, the subtle energies? We have to get really in tune with subtle energies when we're going through an awakening, and we will develop that feeling of subtleties. And see, with this thought, am I just able to allow it to be? That's it. Don't try to do anything with it. Don't push it away. Don't try to process it. Nothing. Just leave it alone. Just allow it to be. This emotion, can I just allow it to be there? Now, again, I just wanted to clarify, there is a time and a place for processing, and I encourage that, but meditating is not the time for it. When we're meditating, if you remember, I said before, the goal of it, if we're wanting to progress with awakening, we're trying to access our being. And if we keep getting sidetracked by doing processing, we're never going to really make much progress in deepening into our being, which requires logging time and doing that sinking in. And so my suggestion is to separate in your meditation practice to a different time to when you do processing. And so when you're meditating, we're just going into our being, and we allow the content to be there. The thought can be there, the grief can be there, but we don't do anything with it. It's just there. We're at peace with it. We're just accepting it. And there's grief. Cool. And then we continue on, hopefully, to start deepening into our being. And then when we're doing a processing type modality, then that's your opportunity to go into, why is the grief here? Let me cry about it and all of that. But that's not meditating. So again, if we come back to the meditating, so this is the allowing it to be as it is to not do anything with what arises. There's a sound, there's noise has started, construction noise has started next door, and I'm meditating. Don't make it mean anything. Don't do anything with it. Leave it alone. Allow it to be there. It can be there. Noise. That's it. Noise is there. That's what is. That's what's in the present moment. So that's what that means, to allow everything to be as it is. It's just to not do anything with it. Just leave it alone. Allow it to just float there in awareness. The different noises, the different expressions of whatever it is that's being experienced, we just don't touch it. And then this is where we start our meditation practice. And then as we sit very still, that content typically will start to slow down or start to become not as noisy. It will start to settle like sediment in a lake. Like it's all been rattled up because we've been busy doing things. And then we sit down to meditate, and it takes a while for that to all sink down and be still, which is the noise of the mind and the emotions and the sensations, and eventually everything starts to slow down and become still over time through ongoing meditation practice. And then that's when we're starting to have the capability to access our being, which requires a portal of stillness and silence and non-doing and non-efforting. It requires us to stop doing, seeking in that way and engaging ego, and to sort of put it all down. But again, how do you do that? This is where we go back to this pointer of, so how do you do non-efforting in meditation, non-doing and being instead? We have to go back to those pointers of relaxation, opening, surrender in an energetic way is what we're doing here. So this is how we do it. And also dropping down awareness into the body. So they're my tips for how to actually do this and how to go beyond the loops of the mind and start to meditate in an effortless way. Or if we talk about effortless effort, which is a very interesting spiritual term, I would define effortless effort as doing a meditation practice, and we are needing to sit and be disciplined and do the practice. So that's a type of efforting that's involved. But the way that we do the meditation practice is from a non-efforting place. And it requires effortless effort to do it. So it's sort of like a nice catchy thing, but it also has the truth in the words of it. Or another way to look at it is that when we meditate, perhaps we want to, if we just find that there's so much content there, it's just so busy, and that's okay. We all start somewhere. If the mind's really busy and you just don't feel like you're progressing anywhere, then having a little anchor of awareness can be so helpful in the body, and it could just be feeling the soles of the feet. And this is effortless effort because it requires a gentle touch. We don't want to be hyper fixated on feeling the soles of the feet. I've got to feel the soles. She said to feel the soles of the feet, and I'm really intensely struggling to do that because the mind is so busy. see the energy of that? Obviously, I exaggerated it, but can you see the contracted energy of like, we're in ego? So how do we focus attention on the soles of the feet without engaging in that energy? Well, that would require effortless effort. So what does that look like? It looks like it's a soft touch. So we do it, we're anchoring attention on the breath, or on sitting, or on the soles of the feet, or on the lower belly, somewhere in the body. So, but we do it very gently. And so we just place attention on that area, we feel it. And then we just allow everything to be as it is. And so we have that anchor going on, but it's a soft touch. It's there, but it's gentle. We're not holding on to it. Gentle. It's there. Light touch. Now we allow everything to be as it is, whatever arises. There's the mind, there's doing it, and we're holding on to that soft anchor. That is effortless effort. Requires a bit of effort, but in an effortless way. So that's how we could define effortless effort, if you're interested. And so we put that all together in a meditation practice of what I will guide you now. But just take the parts of this that make sense, that feel right for you, as always, and make it your own. But I just thought I would give you some clarity on these very popular teachings and how to, where it's relevant and how to implement it. Just close down your eyes and just feeling into the body. And just maybe take some deep breaths, start to connect with the breath. And we can just place some light attention on somewhere in the body, the breath, the feeling of the breath going in and out. Perhaps the feeling of sitting, the pressure of sitting. We're just noticing it. This is that light attention. Maybe the soles of the feet. It never feels right. That anchors us down into the body and already helps support dropping out of the mind. But we're wanting a light touch. Not struggling in this. It's gentle, light attention in the body. And just see if you can relax a little. On the out breath, see if the body wants to let go a little. For this effortless effort, there's a light, gentle touch and a light focus also. And so we need to have some sort of focus so we don't get completely lost and then we're not meditating. But we're wanting it to be effortless without engaging ego. It's a balancing act. So we can just notice that, what it feels like in the body, what it feels like sitting, that pressure. That light focus. Just so that we're not completely carried away by the trance of mind. It anchors us in the body, anchors us to present moment. nice and gentle. And then whatever arises, we're just allowing that to be there. Busy mind, whatever the thoughts may be. I'm just trying not to do anything with it. Trying to push it away, say it shouldn't be there. Trying to process it in any way. Or just allowing it to be there and really just not being so interested in it. The same with emotions. Whatever conflicting emotions are there. This isn't the time to process them. We just notice that they're there. We don't do anything with it. We just allow that to be there. It can be there. Same with sensations. Whatever it is that's arising, whatever content, whatever noise outside, however you're feeling, whatever thoughts are there. We're not pushing it away, we're not doing anything with it. It's just what's happening right now. This is what is. This is the present moment. This is how it is showing up right now. It doesn't need to be any different. Even if the mind is busy, even if you feel bad, in pain, this is what is. Try to stop fighting it. See if something in you can energetically open to what is arising, even if it's pain, even if it really hurts, even if something terrible has happened. You energetically just open to this is what is happening right now. This is what is being felt. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to do anything with it. It can be here. Whatever emotion, whatever pain, it can be here. It's welcome. This is to allow everything to be as it is, fully access present moment, how it's showing up now for you. If you're noticing you're just getting very lost in mind, you're confused about the meditation, just remember your anchor in the body. That gentle focus, soft touch, anchored into the body. And then remember the words relaxation. What would that feel like? To open energetically, to relax. So in a sense, we're just sort of ignoring the content that's arising as it goes along. not as a type of resistance to it. It sort of just is tuned out, dialed down the noise of it. You just do that by being with it, not doing anything with it. It naturally starts to dial down, settle down. You may notice there's not much efforting going on, which is good. So much doing energy, egoic energy being engaged. All of that is just settling down, calming down. Becoming more still energetically. There's nothing you need to do or figure out. Question whether you're doing it right or wrong. You just keep that anchor in the body. Remember that we're opening, resting back, taking the backward step, relaxing, feeling good, sinking. We don't understand what's happening. There's no need. It's not even possible. Just let it take you on a journey, deepening down into your core through relaxing.